I'm Professor Susan DeGize. This tutorial is on practice 7.3c. Directions. Identify all tuplets. Write how many beats or how much of a beat each tuplet is worth. Alright, I'm going to do number 1. You can follow along. If you feel comfortable, do all 4 on your own. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. Okay, number 1 is in 12/8. This is compound quadruple. A dotted quarter note is equal to 1 beat. The regular division is going to be 3 eighth notes. So if we look at the first measure, we have combinations of the division, quarter note, eighth note. And if we look at the piano part, we have some subdivisions with 16th notes, but we don't have any tuplets in the first measure. In measure 7, we have these tuplets. So it's convenient, it has the number 2 written in, but these are duplets, right? Okay, so if 3 eighth notes is the typical division for a dotted quarter note, then the borrowed division, or the duplet, is going to be 2 eighth notes. So each of these duplets is worth 1. All right, let's go ahead and listen to this example. Oh, did you hear that duplet? It's pretty cool. Let's see if I could do this. 1 la li 1, 1 la li 2 la li 3 la li 4 la li 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the 1 la li 2 la li switches to 1 and 2 and. Now notice that we still have that 1 la li 2 la li going on down here. So when we have different divisions occurring at the same time, that is called polyrhythm. All right, go ahead and do number 2 on your own if you haven't already. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. Okay, number 2 is in 2/4, so a quarter note is equal to 1. The division is 2, subdivision is 4. So the first measure, measure 3, we have division in the left hand and subdivision in the right hand. And the next measure, we have sextuplets, which are types of tuplets. So we're going to circle those. And then in the last measure, we have triplets, which are types of tuplets. All right, so let's figure out how much they're worth. So if a quarter note is equal to 1, this is divided into 2 eighth notes, and it can also be divided into 4 16th notes. So here we have 6 16th note sextuplets. So this is actually the borrowed subdivision that's mentioned in your book. So these 6 16th note sextuplets are worth 1. Now, normally the triplet is a borrowed division, and it's not a borrowed division of the beat in this example. It is a borrowed division, but it's a borrowed division of the division, right? These 3 16th notes are equal to 1 eighth note, not 1 quarter note. So an eighth note is worth half if a quarter note is equal to 1. So each of these triplets will be worth half. Now what's interesting about this example is that these sextuplets and these triplets sound the same rhythmically. The composer just chose to write it differently, probably because of this repeating pattern. It was just easier to write them as triplets. But let's go ahead and listen and see if you can hear how the music, the rhythm is the same in the right hand in measure 4 and the left hand in measure 5. All right, so let me go ahead and play that on the keyboard in case you missed it. Ta 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 ta. Those sextuplets as well as those triplets, ta 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 ta, were all that speed. All right, go ahead and try number 3 on your own. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. Okay, number 3 is in common time, so quarter note beat. In the first measure, do we have any tuplets? Yes, we do. We have triplets here. So even though the number 3 isn't written, we see that there are 3/8 notes beamed together. So since a quarter note is equal to beat, these 1/8 note triplets are worth 1 beat each. Ooh, it continues on, so let me just finish those. Are there any more tuplets? Yes. In the violin, the last beat, we have a quintuplet. All right, so that is also equal to 1 because we can see the subdivision in the previous beat. The subdivision is 4 16th notes. So when we squeeze 5 16th notes into a beat, then that's going to equal 1 beat. Okay, so this is very interesting and full of polyrhythm. So let me show you. Here we have triplets, and then here we have a division of 2. Here we have triplets, and here we have a subdivision of 4. Oh my. And now here we have a triplet, and here we have a division of 5. So a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Let's go ahead and listen to a recording of this and see if you can hear the different polyrhythms going on. I think that's quite nice. You know, it's just so different than if everything were just 16th notes. All right, we have number 1, so go ahead and do number 4. Pause the video and press play when you're ready. Okay, number 4 is in 9/8. So a dotted quarter note is equal to a beat. We see in measure 63, there's no tuplets. Remember, this measure number doesn't apply to the anacrusis or the upbeat. 63 refers to this measure. It refers to the first full measure. Okay, so in measure 63, we have no tuplets. What about in measure 64? Well, we have 3 notes here, but that's just the division. And then when we get to the next measure is where we have a number of duplets. So if a dotted quarter is equal to 1, that divides into 3/8 notes. So the duplet of 2/8 notes is also equal to 1. All right. So unfortunately, I was unable to find a recording of this, and I don't want to sing it while playing because you will probably be traumatized and never watch another video again. So you can just assume it is glorious and the duplets are wonderful. If you have any questions on the other tuplets, please reread section 7.3. You've now completed the tutorial for practice 7.3C. Thank you for watching.